Hey guys, I wanted to bring you something new. I haven't done a video in a little bit and had something that is kind of a hot topic right now in a lot of places, and that's no exception here in Canada. I have the Polymer80 SPECTRE. This is an 80% multi-caliber pistol frame. Essentially, this is meant to work with Glock parts, and they say it's a 1911 grip. Now, this is one I was given for review, not by Polymer80, but by a subscriber, and I will not be completing this project. This is an unfinished polymer frame. So being considered 80% done, it is not considered a firearm, and it is just a block of polymer, essentially, at this point. There's the packaging. Drill bits included. Best DIY jig on the market. Designed and manufactured in the USA. As you can see, they say it's multi-caliber. It's the same as a Glock. I mean, you buy a Glock 17 frame, you can work with 357 SIG, 40, and 9mm on the slide / barrel configuration. So, yeah, those are the parts it is compatible with. Glock 17, 34, 17L, and yeah, 22, 35, 24, 31, 35, 24. Essentially anything full-size frame, 9mm, 40, or longer. If you've got the extended, target shooting slide and stuff like that on different models, they will work on this. So yeah, that's the packaging. Comes with a card, milling and instruction, lower parts installation, full rifle assembly instructions. Go to their site. Comes with a Polymer80 decal. Comes with your locking block, metal piece. Here we have our drill bit and milling bits. Let's see, an end mill. And we have our jig. So it looks pretty intuitive. Tells you right on the jig what you're going to be using. And of course, there's videos online. But here's 7/16 end mill, 7/64, 5/32, 7/64, 5/64. Shows you everything you're going to need to do, essentially. And again, there's lots of help with videos as well. So crack this open, and I'm just going to give you my first impressions on this. I shouldn't say my first impressions. I've already had my first impressions on it, but I'm going to tell you what they were. So, fits in the jig very nice and firm, nice and snug, which is good because you want precision when you're drilling this out. So here it is. Now they took, I watched the Polymer80 video as well, where they were kind of reaching out as a Kickstarter at the time, trying to get your support and get you to buy in. And they were talking about the high traction coating and everything else on this, and it's not at all. It's cool. You look at it and you can see they put a lot of time into actually designing and trying to make it look nice and, advanced, grippy, but it's just as slick as a Glock. And I'm not talking like a RTF2 rough textured frame. This stuff, I'd rather put a piece of decal grip on that, or a wrapped grip tape option of some sort. I have large hands, extra large to 2XL on my gloves, and the grip, it's okay. It's very deep this way. They actually said on the video, and this is Polymer80's video, that this was a 1911 grip. As a general rule, that's good news for me. I like 1911s. I find they point a lot better than the 3rd gen Glock. Pulling it up and putting it in front of my eye, I find I have to give a little micro adjustment on my Glock, but in 1911 is very natural for me. So saying that this is a 1911 grip, obviously they're talking about the angle, because the width here is way thicker than any 1911 I've owned. It's nowhere near as far as the actual dimensions of a 1911 grip. But if it's simply the angle they're talking about, that's fine. They've got a magwell, flared magwell, which I like and I don't like. The fact is my finger is right on it, which for that fact I'd rather it wasn't there, but it's cool that it's got it there. So it's supposed to be easy, quick to load a mag in there, just kind of guides itself in. So it's a nice bit of thought. For my own hand, I really don't prefer it to be there, but beaver tail. They put a bigger beaver tail on than the Glock frame. Very first thing, and I'll tell you, as soon as this showed up at my door and I was told, hey, open it up, check it out, I slapped my hand in there like I would anything, whether it's a Glock or a 1911 with a big beaver tail or a Beretta 92 FS. I want my hand up as far as it'll go. And the very first thing I notice is this sharp edge. Right there. Digs in quite aggressively to the soft spot in the middle of my hand, right up through to the actual knuckle. So if I was going to refinish this, if I was going to finish this, I would probably round that right over. As you can see, it's sharp. That's a sharp edge. And it's making contact with a fairly soft, fleshy part of your body. So it's irritating. I don't like that. I like the fact that they threw a beaver tail on there for you. That's cool. But it should have been better contoured. So that would be one complaint I'd have right there. I don't think it's a big deal, though, because this is one solid piece of polymer. You could round that out all around the back pretty nicely and kind of contour it. Even just knocking off the actual hard edge and feathering it out would be plenty. It would be good enough. Again, back down to the grip. They've got these ribs. They've got these thicker ribs, all of which are slick, really slippery. This honeycomb pattern, again, it might be cosmetically pleasing or aesthetically pleasing. It looks kind of cool, but again, I don't feel that this is grippy. I had decal grip on my Glock, Glock 22, 40 cal, and I loved it. Took the factory grip and just made it perfect. It stuck in your hand real nice. Didn't matter if your hands were wet or what the scenario was. If it was a hot day, cold day, it was perfect. So something like that might be good for this, although there's so much texturing going on here. I don't know how well it would stick, but yeah, it's pretty slick. It's solid. It feels honestly like a Glock frame. They're polymer. It's not going to be rickety. It's not going to be flexy. It's nice as far as that goes. One thing to note, one thing I did like about my Glock is on my Gen 3, which this is using Gen 3 parts, it had serrations up here. So when I was holding, I could get up on that and hold with my index finger, and it was nice and grippy. Now, again, it's polymer, so if you wanted, you could put some serrations in there. You're really not going to hurt the structure of the thing by doing a little bit of work in here, but it doesn't come with it there, so it's kind of too bad. A little bit of a miss, just for me personally. But this thing is going to run you $280 Canadian, plus shipping and tax. It's cool. You want to do your own work, get your own gun made up, but you're not set up to completely build a frame from scratch out of a block of aluminum or whatever. This is a good place to start. They sell these as, for those do-it-yourselfers who want to make your own gun, essentially. This is how they're marketing it. Obviously, we know there's those that are going, oh, I can get a gun and, you know, skirt the law. Well, there's going to be those types anyway. It is what it is. But here in Canada, at very least, if you choose to get one of these and go ahead and put these bits into use, finishing it up, it doesn't matter if you add any more parts onto this. If you finish this gun or this frame with what's here, you're required to call the firearms office and notify them. You have to register it, excuse me, add a serial number, all that kind of stuff. So definitely something to keep in mind, folks. You can't just buy this, at least in Canada, slap it together and go, yay, I have a handgun, and I don't need to abide by the laws. It's not the case. Definitely do need to pay attention. Make sure to register it with your local authorities, or not local authorities, but with the RCMP, and let them know you have it. So, but if it sits as it is, it's not a gun. It's a piece of polymer, and that's kind of where it all starts. So I have heard, this isn't first-hand info, guys, because I have not finished one, but I have heard that factory Glock parts seem to work better in these than a lot of aftermarket upgrades. Now, they all should bolt into the same gun, so I'm not confirming that. I don't see why an upgrade wouldn't work that would work in a Glock frame, because it should all match up. But just a little tidbit, I have heard from others that that they do have a bit of a hard time with certain aftermarket parts. So, but yeah, so essentially, first impressions are it's a really cool idea. It's got a couple misses in the grip texture and the beaver tail, as well as they could have done something a little grippier on the front side of the trigger guard. But I mean, you've got your rails, you've got your everything you need to get a gun going, minus some parts kits. And you can buy the part kits. This one here came from ctcsupplies.ca. They also have the Lone Wolf parts kit for this, which, I mean, I just get done telling you that most people go with the full Glock kits, but I mean, Lone Wolf has got a kit set up for this. I mean, it's just the entire grouping of pins and lips and trigger and everything you're going to need. But yeah, so that's cool. If you guys do go with this, I definitely recommend, just from my Glock experience, an extended mag release and the Glock brand extended slide release lever. Well worth every penny, and they're super cheap upgrades. So those are a couple that I do recommend, just because the factory stuff is a little hard to get onto. So yeah, very basic upgrades. But anyway, guys, overall, like I said, I think it's a great little idea. They've got some room for improvement. This is version 1. They're going to come out with another version, I assume. Otherwise, they wouldn't have called it version 1. So anyway, I'd say it's worth going for. You could definitely fix most of the things that I have a problem with on it. And some of the things, of course, you may have absolutely no issue with, like the grip, and maybe you don't ever put your index finger up here. But this, I think most people are going to notice that if they're actually using the beaver tail for a place to plant your hand in the same place every time. So that'd be something to think about. So also to note, this is not ambidextrous safety, so that's why I noticed that it's a Gen 3 design, which myself personally, that's great. It doesn't bother me at all because I'm right-handed. But something to note, there's not an option for left to right hand when you order one of these. It's right hand configuration. So, all right, guys, I really appreciate you watching the vid. Go ahead and subscribe. Check me out on YouTube as well. Or sorry, on Facebook. You are on YouTube. And check out my other channel, Northeastern Blades. I've got some knife projects, and I'll be doing a video on that channel as well here very shortly. Keep in touch, and have a great day.